Black people didn't just get the right to vote, and everything was fine after that. In fact, we got it, lost it, and had to fight to get it back again.
On this road, on this journey, fueled by hope. 1 step forward, equal 2 steps back, and we know being.
After the Civil War, Black Americans were granted the right to vote through the 15th Amendment, and for a brief moment, it worked. Black men were voting, Black politicians were being elected, there was real political power being built. But that didn't last. When Reconstruction ended in 1877, federal troops left the South, and with them went the protection of Black voters. Which kind of makes me upset that President Lincoln let the Confederates go with no real consequences or accountability. But anyways, what followed wasn't subtle, it was systematic. White Southern governments used violence, intimidation, and new laws to take those rights back. Groups like the Ku Klux Klan terrorized Black communities, lynchings, arsons, assassinations, all to stop people from voting. And then came the laws. Poll taxes, so if you were poor, you couldn't vote. Literacy tests, designed to fail you even if you were educated. Grandfather clauses, so only people whose grandfathers could vote, which obviously excluded former enslaved people. They even created all white primaries, meaning Black voters were locked out before the real election even started. And the courts, they backed it. Cases like Plessy versus Ferguson upheld segregation, did nothing to stop voter suppression. Sounds like today, don't it? By the early 1900s, Black voter turnout in much of the South had dropped nearly to zero. Decades of political power erased. It took nearly 100 years in the civil rights movement to push back, and that's where the Voting Rights Act comes in. The right to vote wasn't just given to Black Americans, it was fought for, lost, and fought for again.
Make music with messages that's in alignment with the testaments. Yes, my blessings is congruent with my lyrical excellence. Call me.
Voting Rights Act was supposed to protect against all of that from happening again, but today, that protection has been weakened. In fact, it no longer really protects the Black vote. In fact, they actually used it to attack the Black vote, making it seem like Black people are the ones that's being racist by trying to be represented. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was the most powerful civil rights laws ever passed. It banned things like literacy tests and gave the federal government the power to oversee states with a history of voting suppression, aka the Southern states, or aka the Confederacy states. Most importantly, it included something called Section 2. Section 2 made it illegal for voting laws or maps to discriminate based off race. For decades, that meant courts could step in and protect minority voting power, especially when it came to redistricting. But recently, the Supreme Court narrowed how that protection works. In a case involving Louisiana, the court ruled that the evidence wasn't strong enough to justify using race when drawing congressional maps. Justice Alito wrote that the state didn't have a compelling reason to create another majority, another Black district. Keep in mind, they only had one Black district. But in dissent, Justin Kagan warned that this decision could allow states to weaken minority voting power without consequences. She said that the ruling effectively eliminates the law completely. And that's a concern because if states can redraw maps without strong federal oversights, then representation can be diluted without explicitly breaking the law. And guess what? It's only been 2 days and we're seeing this play out already. States like my home state of Georgia are moving quickly to redraw maps in response to these rulings. In fact, yesterday, the day after the ruling, Louisiana stopped an election they had already started. They had already been sending out ballots. They stopped that election to make sure they can benefit from this ruling. And again, this isn't unprecedented. We've seen what happens when protections are removed. Remember the whole Reconstruction part of this lesson? Look, I don't even know what the takeaway is supposed to be here because honestly, I feel defeated. We've seen what happens when protections are taken away, and yeah, man, I feel disappointed. I feel frustrated. Just extremely, extremely disappointed, man. I'm disappointed in the people who allowed this to happen. And you put these people in power who are doing this racist thing, yo, and make no mistake, this is racist. Somebody could make an argument that it's just power. It's just these people are doing it to gain power. But at the end of the day, they're wielding the power of racism and privilege to make it happen. And that is racist. This is going to affect minority communities in general. But make no mistake, these people are doing this to attack specifically the Black people. These people wielded that power to limit our vote, our representation. And that eventually led to the Jim Crow laws. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried, man, because they're doing it. It's not hypothetical. They're doing it right now. It's started. But hey, you think I'm wrong? I truly hope so, y'all.
And decide that these eyes will see light and view lies and combine in our kind with your kind. If you're kind on my side with peace signs and peace signs, they deep dive and destroy and collide. You all die, but not mine, cause my lives are top 9 and +9. Enough shine to decline your punchline. You bust 9s, I bust mine.